so there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of information that I have that I'd like to share with everybody. And all I could do is show you these past examples. These are things in my pad that I started, never finished, and that I get back to, and maybe show you how I finish things. And I enjoy it. So as I work on these studies for myself, I'm sharing that information with you on how I do a portrait. And of course, there's money in portraits, so that's very important too. There's, no sponsorship is unimportant when it comes to art, and if the art cannot subsidize itself, it cannot go on. So you can look at it as a hobby, you can look at it as a therapeutic thing, or in a case if you want to make money at it, well, then you could market your work to galleries or show them on the website, and I've done sales through the web. So that's another thing to explore. So when I say if it doesn't subsidize itself, it cannot go on, then it's nice to be able to be rewarded with a sale every now and then. Okay, now this shadow looks a little dark here, so I'll just kind of maybe put a little, almost like a glaze. I'm going to cross-hatch this color over the blue to just soften that a little bit, maybe soften it a little bit more. So these are some of the refinements. This shadow looks a little dark up here, so let's just soften that and add something in there. Okay, how's that? So, okay, that's looking good. Joe says it's looking nice there. Okay, maybe I'll add a little bit more. All right, this is something that doesn't belong. We don't want to use our hand, but let's just get rid of that by taking some of the adjacent color and getting rid of that. So there we are. That's how we erase with pastel. Makes sense. So maybe I'll put this color all around. And I don't bring it too close in this stage. I spot it by maybe just suggesting, and I'm using it sideways because I'm covering a large area. So I'm trying to create some feeling of light in the background even. Remember that light color is like this, has the presence of light into it. So that's important. Now it's starting to look like something. Now this is something I'd like to take right to the finish, but I don't have time in this particular segment. But I will, I think we'll come back to this at a later date and express some more. But let's get back to the still life again. And remember, I talked about that little reducing lens. That applies to everything I'm doing. I usually wear this. There's a string on it, as you can see. And that reducing lens, let's see if it works with the camera. Let's see, I'm not sure here. John, can you? There we are. John's focusing in on it. Yeah, okay, that gives you a little idea of how this works. All this lens does, it gives you a distance of what we're looking at, because when we're working so close that we may not see it from a distance, as the viewer would see it from a distance if you have a finished work. So it's important. There we are. Okay, makes sense. All right, I'm looking at the monitor, but I'll try to talk to you too at the same time. All right, now I think this illustrates something. All right, good, John. All right, so that tells you something about the reducing lens, and I can tell you where to get those eventually if you want to write me to my website. The website is roberttoth.com. Its last name is spelled T-O-T-H, and I could send you information on where to get those lenses and other things you may need that I talk about on these programs, like the pastels and other things. Now, here we can get into a little linear here. We want to refine this block a little bit, so I could do like that and show you how that works. And a little perspective now, although I'm not interested in that right now. I think if you get the mass correct, the perspective will kind of take care of itself.